Hey everybody, Daunter here. Today is going to be day 2 of What Have I Learned, or I guess it's going to be day 2, 3, and 4 because I haven't posted in a little bit. That's because I've been working on one thing for a while and I haven't been very happy with it. So I've been following somebody's suggestion, which was to kind of emulate an art style of somebody else, specifically like maybe a Pokemon card artist. And I think that I wanted to pick something a little bit easier, so I decided to go with the artist Jerky's style. I really love Jerky's cards. Just flash up a couple pictures of their cards, maybe like the Electros from Black Bolt, the Greedent from Journey Together. It felt like they had this pretty simple, lineless art style that I could maybe emulate to some extent. I think that I was a little bit in over my head. I'm still an amateur. I'm not a professional by any means. And I'm still learning every single time I draw something. I think there's a lot of things, especially with coloring and shading, that I need to work on because it's not there yet. The finished drawing looks okay, but it definitely could be better. My kind of take for the illustration was going to be Pokemon X Gundam, pretty much. And for the characters, I chose Scizor because I love Scizor. He's one of my favorite Pokemon, and I also chose the GM, which is just it's pretty much just like a giant robot. But the giant robot itself was one of the more simpler designs that I could think of from the Gundam universe, so I kind of wanted to make it a little bit easier on myself by picking that character. Now, I think that this is a double-edged sword, right? So the GM is pretty simple, but that's not entirely a good thing. I think that the simplicity mixed with the kind of style of Jerky could probably be done well by somebody who knows what they're doing, but somebody who has no idea what they're doing probably has no idea what is going to be good or bad about it, right? So I think I kind of wanted to break it down into a couple points. I think that Jerky's style is kind of almost grainy in a way. Like their art style, they have like these like white little dots that go across the whole screen. So I kind of wanted to try to emulate that with my final product. I wanted to kind of work a little bit on like the shading and the reflections and stuff like that, and I don't think I did a very good job on that. If the shadings and the reflections looked a little bit better, I could probably emulate the art style a little bit more. But at this point, I was spending so much time on the artwork that it wasn't really worth it to just keep pushing myself to make something better that I wasn't like entirely proud of, or just like, you know, like I just kind of need to move on at this point, because I can't spend all my time perfecting one illustration. Maybe in a year I can come back and like make this a lot better than it was before, but right now that's just not where I'm at. Now, there was some things that I actually did like about this drawing. The first being, I think I, captured the essence of the original character that I was trying to portray pretty well, especially the gym. The GM. The Scizor is not the best I've ever drawn in my entire life. I tried to make it simple, but it ended up being a little bit too simple. But I think that's something that I actually did pretty decently on, was actually the emulating the foliage that Jerky does in their illustrations. For example, in this Tatsugiri illustration right here, there's some grass, and there's also some like leaves and stuff like that. I tried to put that on the illustration, and I think it kind of meshed the grass together. I feel like before it was just a flat color, and I wasn't really that interested in it. And I think that was a pretty big down point of the illustration. Another big down point is just the plain purple background that I chose to emulate the night sky. First of all, it's not really that accurate because it should be probably like black, right? But also, I don't think I really emulate, I didn't really like do anything with that. And just changing the color right now in the editing, like in the photo software right now, I just did it just for fun. It looks better black. I probably could have just left it black and put some stars in it or something, or made the moon a little bit more radiant. I think that that's a big misstep of what is going on here. Another misstep, like I said, I was just trying to put too much in the illustration. I wasn't really I didn't really know what I was doing, and I don't know the basics. I don't know the basics, so I can't expect myself to be perfect on the execution when I don't even know the basics. Obviously, I'm still learning, and there's still a lot of things that I need to learn. But yeah, it's just like that kind of, I'm trying to push myself to be better, be more impactful, more careful with my drawings. And I don't even know the first thing about drawing, right? It's just it's not something that I know a lot about. Just that's that. I'm not the best illustrator of all time. I would never say that. It's just it's a little bit challenging, especially when you are working on something for so long and it just doesn't turn out the way that you want it to. Obviously, I'm not expecting every single illustration to turn out to be a masterpiece, but I just was expecting a little bit more for myself, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of things about the illustration that I don't think I did very good on. I was trying to portray sort of a reflection of the suit's like visor as light that was emanating onto Caesar. I feel like the light that I chose wasn't very good, and then I tried to change it like midway through. I tried to change it to a little bit of a darker color. And I kind of wanted to go over that again and try to fix it with the other shading that I did. It just wasn't working out. I think it was just too far gone at that point. The illustration actually looks pretty decent with outlines, but again, that's not like the point. And I think that I was trying to like, I don't know, like I drew with outlines first, and then I got rid of the outlines after with a mask layer. I think that was an interesting idea, and I enjoyed doing it, but I just don't think that the illustration really benefited from that, especially with my lack of knowledge. So yeah, it was a rough couple of days, right? It was a little bit rough. I was trying to learn, and it was a little bit frustrating to an extent. Obviously, I wasn't like taking it personally. I would take breaks and not push myself to do it if I didn't want to do it. But it was just a bit of more of a tough day for sure today. Emulation is something that I still need to work on a lot. But for a first attempt, it went okay. I feel like the grainy effect kind of adds a little bit to the Jerky style, but the graininess is in white, black, and like it's like in the darker colors as well, so that doesn't really benefit the illustration, honestly. Just because it's like, it doesn't really make sense for it to be black. The only graininess I can see in Jerky's cards, again, pull up another one of Jerky's cards, like the Carvana, it's not grainy in the sense that it's like black, white, and grainy. It's grainy in the sense that it's white. It's only white grain, so that is completely and wholly inaccurate. But it is like an interesting stylistic decision, I guess. So yeah, a lot of stuff that I need to work on. The only thing that I think I did okay on is like the grass. I think that kind of emulates the Jerky style pretty okay. But yeah, shading, posing, pretty much everything else I did pretty meh on, and I'm willing to admit that. I'm willing to admit that I didn't make the best illustration, and I'm willing to improve it in the future, and I just think I need to like push myself to do the next thing, right? So this illustration may not be perfect, but my next one might be better. So yeah, if you want to know like more about my drawing escapades and like kind of like exploring that, what did I learn today? I learned a lot of stuff, right? I learned that it's not best to just blindly emulate something, even, especially when you don't know the basics. Maybe tomorrow I can do a little bit more of that, kind of trying to understand the basics of shading, anatomy, stuff like that. Just trying to figure that out. But I still hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of like a weird one today, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.